How do we want to be remembered? Successful in business, a great parent, an ardent football fan, always having a stunning appearance. How do we wish to be remembered? It's something that I think more and more of us have been thinking and considering during the pandemic. So what was the answer that we came up with? Let me share with you my take, a little answer and insight from the Parsha and from the events that have been in the news. I read about a young gentleman, 32 years old, teacher. His name is Ranjit Desal, and he's a teacher in India in a small village which is exceptionally deprived and usually suffers from droughts. And this young man, this teacher, has managed to bring about a mini revolution in enabling the young girls from the village, from the province, to have an outstanding education and to go on to achieve phenomenal grades and be able to have a prosperous future. Not only that, but in 83 countries, he has been able to teach and inspire youngsters on the internet. Not only that, but in conflict zones, he has also inspired and taught many young people. So he won this week the award for the Global Teacher of the Year. Over 12,000 nominees, and he was selected and awarded the Teacher of the Year award. An incredible accomplishment and achievement. And he was given a check for $1 million. What was his reaction? That was even more astounding. Immediately, without any hesitation, he announced that he was giving back 500,000, 50% of the award to the other 9 runners-up. Why? Because he said, being a teacher, it's all about giving and sharing. That is what teaching and education is all about. And therefore, for him, the most meaningful and fulfilling experience was to be able to share what he had with others. And if he shared it with others, then they would be able to share it with even more students, and therefore more people would have an education. Remarkable, inspirational, something for us that we may struggle to get our heads around because of the upbringing that we have living in a capitalist society where it's all about the I. It's all very much egocentric, self-absorbed, worrying about what I can get out, thinking about my entitlements, my necessities, rather than my responsibilities and the opportunities that I have to give back and to share with others. It's interesting that when a baby is born into this world, they come with clenched fists. We know that young kids, it's all about wanting and having and grabbing and taking as much as they possibly can. And the idea, of course, is that we mature through life from being net takers to becoming net givers. At the end of a person's life, a Jewish person is buried in shrouds that have no pockets, that their hands are open, signifying the transformation that should have occurred over the course of our lifetimes, from being takers to being givers, to wanting to share whatever we have with other people. This difference in philosophy, this contrast, is reflected in the 2 approaches that we find in the portion that we read in the Torah this week. Esav and Jacob. Esav, of course, was Jacob's brother, but he was also his nemesis, and there was an estranged relationship between them. Esav had decided to tread a very different path. And when they met up, despite both having achieved tremendous material success, what they said to each other about their success reflected the different philosophies. Jacob says, I have everything. Esav says, I have much. Jacob didn't have everything, but whatever he had, it was everything that he needed. For him, it was not about having, it was about being able to share and to give back. For Esav, whatever he had, it was never going to be enough. There was always more which he could acquire, more which he could accomplish, which he wanted to make a part of his material wealth in the world. And therefore, the approach of Jacob is the approach which we very much wish and aspire to adopt in our lives. As we approach Hanukkah, the festival of lights, we all know that the idea of our lives is to be able to bring greater light to the world at large. As Reb Shlomo Zalman of Liadi famously said, a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. By giving and sharing, our lives are enriched rather than losing. We will know that we are net gainers. Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom.